I'm Stephanie Patton, and I'm excited to guide you through today's session. Elevate 24 is your around-the-clock professional development platform designed to support and empower teachers, administrators, and support staff at any time from anywhere. Each session is thoughtfully aligned with the Louisiana Educator Rubric, focusing on 4 key areas: planning, instruction, environment, and professionalism. Elevate 24 is empowering growth every role, every hour. Today, we'll be diving into communication and team collaboration. Let's get started. By the end of this presentation, you'll be able to understand the benefits and characteristics of communication and team collaboration, implement strategies for fostering communication and collaboration. What does communication have to do with team collaboration? And for some, it's a no-brainer. But communication is a process in which information is sent and information is received. So it's the process of exchanging information through speech, writing, or other nonverbal cues to create and share meaning. Now, the difference in team collaboration is that is a collective effort of individuals to work together towards a shared mission, and they utilize their combined skills to achieve a common goal, and it's more effective if they communicate. Their connection is like a bridge almost. Communication acts as an essential component to enable successful team collaboration. 4 characteristics of communication and team collaboration are: the first, active listening and respectful dialogue. It's crucial to effective communication and healthy relationships. It goes beyond just what you're saying. It's actively processing and seeking to understand what the other person or team members are saying and trying to find out what's the intent behind what they say. It requires you to be mindful and focused on the message and the participant in the communication process. First, you must engage in active listening, which means you're fully present, you're giving good eye contact, you're understanding their nonverbal cues, and also forming open-ended questions in order to get more responses. It also involves reflecting and paraphrasing on what they've said in order to clarify the message. And you listen to understand, not forming your own questions to say something as a response, but more speaking and being thoughtful and withholding judgment and advice. Now, let me introduce Jenny Clark. She's a former executive recruiter and entrepreneur. She has over 35 years of corporate experience working with companies like Google, JLL, Spencer Stuart, and other Fortune 500 companies. She believes most current workplaces are bereft of competent leadership, and she works to teach and inspire a new generation of leaders.
So, how people typically manage feedback. I mentioned people-pleasing tendencies or its ugly stepsister, conflict avoidance, because they seem to be the primary reasons people don't want to provide feedback. It's too uncomfortable, so don't say anything. Then the condition festers, leading ultimately to a toxic work environment marked by passive-aggressive behaviors, dishonesty, a lack of trust, and it's downhill from there. And the leader has lost any semblance of control, respect, or influence over the team, all because they couldn't bring themselves to express an important truth, perspective, or observation. These same managers or leaders are reluctant to ask for and receive feedback, probably because they never received much feedback coming up in their career to know what it should sound like. Or the leader's reluctance could be due to fear that you resent them for not telling you what you need to hear to perform more effectively and grow. And the vicious cycle continues. This is truly a case of giving to get. Here's my advice. Effective feedback is a cornerstone for strong leadership and employee development. When delivered and received constructively, It fosters a culture of continuous improvement and collaboration in the workplace. As a manager or leader, here are some best practices for giving and receiving feedback effectively. Let's start with giving. Be specific and timely. Provide feedback as soon as possible after the observed behavior or performance. Be specific about what you're addressing. Address actions, behaviors, or outcomes, not the individual's character or personality. Balance positive and constructive feedback. Offer a balance of both. Acknowledge what's working well and what needs improvement. Use I statements and frame feedback using I statements to express your perspective without making it sound accusatory. For example, I noticed that instead of you always. Also, promote a two-way conversation, maybe by asking a question like, you're really good at doing analysis, but are you comfortable summarizing it for senior leadership? You're allowing them to possibly express an area where they want to improve, and now you can acknowledge the need to improve and recommend some ways to do so. Be sensitive and respectful. Choose an appropriate setting and tone for delivering feedback. Be respectful and considerate of the individual's feelings, but don't water it down so the message is lost. Ditch the sandwich approach of, you did a great job in the client meeting today. You could have been more explicit about our recommendations as we discussed, but you did a great job. Now, what do you think they heard? You did a great job. Receiving feedback. Stay open-minded. Approach feedback with an open mind and a willingness to learn and grow. Do your best not to be defensive. Take time to reflect on the feedback received. Consider how you can use it to improve your performance and behavior. Listen and ask for examples. Pay close attention to what the feedback provider is saying. Avoid interrupting and seek clarification if needed. If the feedback is vague, ask for specific examples or scenarios to better understand the concerns. Express appreciation and follow up. Thank the feedback provider for their input, regardless of whether it's positive or constructive. And if you make changes based on feedback, follow up with the provider to share your progress and show your commitment to improvement.
Working across departments or school sites. A lot of times we have cross-functional or interdepartmental collaboration, which is a powerful approach, but we have to remember how to break down departmental silos where people are trying to work alone instead of working together. So first, you have to establish clear goals, meaning everybody must know the purpose of the collaboration and what they are working towards. In addition, you have to foster open communication, create an environment where people feel comfortable sharing ideas and feedback and their concerns so that you can be successful. Number 3, you must define roles and responsibilities. There, you have to know the goal and the role. So what is my role in accomplishing the goal that's before us? And all that comes with number 4, building trustful relationships. Encourage interaction and relationship building in the team. Next, you must provide leadership support. Leaders must champion collaboration. They set the tone for collaboration. They got to provide necessary resources and encouragement. Utilize appropriate tools and technology, which is number 6. Implement collaboration platforms and project management tools as much as possible so that the workflow is managed and information sharing is free from hurdles. Lastly, celebrate success and learn from challenges. Sometimes you have to stop and recognize and reward successful collaboration and use the challenges to grow and improve. There are many barriers to communication, but we want to make sure that we are using the right communication tools. And here are just a few examples. So the first is teachers and students. There are many platforms to learn. Canvas, Blackboard, Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams are ways in which they can communicate, and teachers can talk to students, students can talk to teachers. In addition, there are platforms that help with district administrators where email and Google and those products allow you to manage tasks efficiently and communicate. In addition to, some allow you to share calendars, so there is no ambiguity in the goal. Lastly, teachers and parents. There's Class Dojo, Class Tag, Remind, Blooms. All of these allow parents to communicate with teachers, and they have real-time updates of what is going on in the class. We're almost done. But last, before we go, here's a little homework. Use one of the activities or one of your own to foster communication and team collaboration this week. These will help you improve and grow in your practices. Thank you for joining me today for this session of Elevate 24. I hope you're walking away with fresh ideas, practical strategies, and renewed sense of purpose in your role. Remember, professional growth isn't limited to one time or one place. Elevate 24 is here to support you anytime, anywhere. Let's continue to grow together, every role, every hour. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you in future sessions.